Imagine waking up one day and discovering your entire country had just been sold for $20 million without anyone asking you. What if everything you learned about independence skipped one of the biggest transactions in history? In 1898, Spain signed a treaty with the United States. One signature, one payment, $20 million. And suddenly, more than 7,000 islands and millions of Filipinos were no longer under Spain. But here's the question that still sparks debate today. Can an entire nation really be sold? The answer is far more complicated than the viral posts and conspiracy videos suggest. Today we'll uncover the real story behind the Treaty of Paris of 1898. What happened, why it happened, and who benefited. By the late 1800s, the Spanish Empire was crumbling. For centuries, Spain had ruled vast territories across the globe. But decades of wars, economic problems, and colonial uprisings weakened its grip. In the Philippines, resistance had grown stronger than ever. Revolutionaries demanded reforms. Later, they demanded independence. Leaders like Emilio Aguinaldo fought against Spanish colonial rule. Meanwhile, another power had entered the picture, the United States. After the explosion of the USS Maine in Havana Harbor, America declared war on Spain in April 1898. Although the war began over Cuba, it quickly spread across the globe. One of the battlefields was Manila Bay. On May 1, 1898, American Commodore George Dewey destroyed the Spanish fleet in Manila Bay. The victory was swift. Spain's naval power in Asia had effectively collapsed. Filipino revolutionaries believed this was their chance. Working alongside American forces against Spain, many expected that independence was finally within reach. In June 1898, Emilio Aguinaldo proclaimed Philippine independence. A new flag was raised. A national anthem was played. To many Filipinos, the struggle appeared to be over. But thousands of miles away, another decision was being made, one that involved no Filipino representatives. In late 1898, American and Spanish diplomats gathered in Paris, France. Their mission was simple: end the war. Neither side invited Filipino representatives. No revolutionary leaders, no elected delegates, no voice from the people living in the islands. During negotiations, Spain agreed to give up Cuba. Puerto Rico and Guam would also go to the United States. Then came the Philippines. The United States agreed to pay Spain $20 million. This payment became one of the most misunderstood parts of history. Many say the Philippines was sold for $20 million, but historians explain it differently. The treaty transferred Spain's claim of sovereignty to the United States. It did not mean that Filipinos themselves were legally treated as property. However, the people living there had no say in the decision. That absence of consent became one of the greatest controversies surrounding the treaty. The $20 million wasn't simply a purchase price. It was compensation agreed upon during peace negotiations after Spain's defeat. International law at the time allowed colonial powers to transfer territorial claims through treaties. Today, many historians criticize this system because colonized peoples were excluded from decisions affecting their future. From the perspective of many Filipinos, their aspirations for independence were ignored. This explains why the phrase remains emotionally powerful. The treaty did not bring peace. Instead, it marked the beginning of another conflict. When the US intended to establish control rather than recognize the Republic, fighting erupted in 1899. The Philippine-American War became one of the bloodiest conflicts in Philippine history. Thousands of American soldiers fought against Filipino forces. Even more civilians suffered from disease, famine, and violence. What many believed would be the dawn of freedom became years of another difficult struggle. More than 125 years later, the Treaty of Paris remains one of history's most debated agreements. It reshaped the political future of the Philippines, changed the balance of power in Asia, and marked the emergence of the US as a global power. The $20 million has become more than just a historical figure. It became a symbol, a reminder that powerful nations once negotiated over territories inhabited by millions who had no seat at the table. So, was the Philippines really sold for $20 million? History gives us a nuanced answer. Spain transferred its colonial claim to the US, but the Filipino people had already declared independence. That tension is why this story continues to resonate today. If this chapter of history surprised you, share this video. Because sometimes the most important part of history isn't what happened, it's who got to decide.